Strumming my pain with this.
This is the Imperial Skulls of Honor podcast. I am Josh Folan.
And I am Jay Baxtron.
And I am Jeff Burns.
And we are going to be bullshit about the formative years of console gaming as we revisit the periodicals that covered it again. We march dutifully onward in an RPG side quest with this pod, where we incrementally fiddle with an old school RPG, start to finish, with the assistance of vintage game literature. The quest all round us at present is going down in Moto, where we seek the truth behind all the peculiar Mother Brain-related happenings in Sega's 1990 release of Phantasy Star 2 on the SEGA Genesis. The accompanying literatures of antiquity for us on this undertaking are the 52-page pack-in instruction manual and the official Phantasy Star 2 hint book, a 114-page tome, also published by Sega around the time of the game's release stateside. A link to a PDF of both those, along with some accompanying pack-in materials, maps, charts, etc., will be in the show notes for the duration of the quest. Emulation disclosure, so you know the tools with which we are undertaking our quest to defeat yet another archfiend. Jay, how do you play Phantasy Star 2?
Unfortunately, I'm not playing it on the Xbox. If I had known a version was perfectly there, I would totally be doing that. But instead, I'm playing it through my computer, emulating through Launchbox, actually, through Kega Fusion, with my 6-button SEGA Genesis controller.
Woo! Over-equipped.
Yeah.
Jab.
Just on a regular-ass laptop, Fusion 3.64. Nothing special.
Keyboard. I can't believe you play with keyboard.
That's so
Madman.
helpful. It's
Madman.
I can't believe you don't, but this wouldn't be the first time I was right and you were wrong.
Oh.
Both you guys are killing yourselves because you're not mobile like I am. I am playing my Abernic 351MP handheld emulator, so still strumming my mobile side quest in Tagar. Please rate and review the pod wherever you listen. If you enjoy our shit, it helps us quest. Last time on the Imperial Skulls of Honor podcast, as we wound things down last time, we had just been finished rooting around in the trash piles in Roran and upgraded our ride situation with a sweet, sweet Vespa scooter doohickey. And from there, it was westward to Curie, where I had found that prior to scooter acquisition, but I don't believe either of you had prior to our last recording. So let us discuss that first and get us all back on the same page. So Curie is located amongst some farm domes west of Zima, and there are high-rises in the middle of the town. There's matching commercial districts running the vertical length of the east and west sides of town. So that's the layout. Let us get into our townsfolk chatter here. The Walmart greeter is boringly matter-of-fact about conveying the municipality's moniker of record, but the girl east of her gets conversation rolling about the central theme of Curie inhabitants, the ocean. She says, they say that people in the old days used to eat something before going under the ocean. And the nearby dude to her has some more history, says the ancestors of the people in this town used to work in the ocean. And I'm guessing he's not a local talking like that, saying that you people's bullshit. And the town center, or rather in the town center, a girl is doing marketing work for her boyfriend. She says, my boyfriend lives on the outskirts of town so that nobody disturbs his work. What devotion from her. Just out fucking town crying the dude's business for him. That's very nice.
It's funny, he's actually trying to avoid being contacted, and she's out here telling everybody.
right, yeah, conflicting. Maybe they're clearly perhaps equal partners in the venture.
Could be.
And they have very different marketing perspectives.
And sure enough, we're going to show up and fucking bother this guy.
Yeah, we're going there, and we're going to the ocean. All right, what else? What else is happening?
Yeah. Well, an old man here swears he remembers there being a rocky island named Uzo in the ocean. So you want to get your ass to scooting around for that, in other words.
All right. That's where I'm
And
going.
another turns back the clock. He says it was 50 years ago when Mother Brain prohibited people from going in the ocean. It's a little bit more of the mother brain fucking dropping the hammer on everyone, being fucking ruling with an iron fist.
Yeah, what's going on, mother brain?
Yeah, dude, we get to the end of this episode, and I still don't think we really know.
No. They're clearly messing something up, but like Mother Brain, I'm coming for you. What are you doing for real?
I like how we're in this particular point in time where like they're well into the big social changes that they're experiencing. Like, social might be a stretch, but like they're experiencing like big changes in the way like their world operates, and we're well into this. It's not like we're getting there at the beginning.
Right, and it just, the shit just hit the fan. Yeah, that is cool, right? It's developed. So yeah, so you, not only do you have the situation, but you have the social fallout, like the factionizing, various, not unparalleled to U.S. political landscape. Like these factions have kind of developed for people's perspectives on the way shit is now, and that is very interesting, yeah. Mm-hmm. A guy by the hospital drops real humdinger. He says, they say the ocean and the lake are connected under the ground. And there's Motavians running all over town as well. Some of them just scream, "Oh no, humans!" despite there being plenty here before we showed up. So what the fuck? One does attempt usefulness and asks if you've met his pals in Roran, which is a little bit of direction for the subset of thorough adventurers, such as myself, that wandered over here before getting the scooter. And then a girl by the cloning lab says, in places where the color of the water is different in the ocean, they say it's because of water from the lake. And this, coupled with that last thing I mentioned prior to the Roran, or the Motavian fucking commentary, this is a huge piece of information. And I presumed it meant we were talking about a passageway to it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. To the central part of the island. And not exactly that, home fry. So that was a bit of a misunderstanding or a misdirection to some degree. You obviously are looking for something in the ocean, though. We will get to that. The secluded hut, you got to get there. You got to get your Sons of Tanagel Crip walk on around the southern edge of town to get into his little enclosure. And inside, he is your typical anime homeboy, royal blue hair. He says, "Hi, I'm working here. I'm working on inventing a new kind of gum. Do you know what mora leaves are?" And this is a decision tree. You can say no, in which case he says, there is a mora tree on an island in the sea. The leaves of that tree produce a large amount of oxygen. I want to use the leaves to make a special gum that lets you breathe underwater! Exclamation. And then he tacks on the yes dialogue, which is, yes, I need some of those leaves. If you find any, let me know. So we have a very, very, very bolded objective now in that. And getting into the commerce here, he said, I had found this last time, so I was coming right out of Zima, which I think definitely you, Jay, maybe Jab also. You mentioned, so you talked about a little bit of buyer's remorse that you went through. Like, I did this for the last episode, where I just dumped a bunch of money in Zima on a bunch of shit, and then I came here and was immediately like, fuck, I shouldn't have bought any of that. But the shit I did get into, so there's knife boots here. And these are there's a couple of things that can use them. Like I think the Guardian can use them as well. But these are more specifically, I think, a net-minded deal. And they give her +7 attack and +4 defense over the sandals that she was rocking as I walked in here. There's also the laser bar here to upgrade her bar situation. And that gives her a +11 attack, +1 defense over the ceramic version of that. And then there's a bunch of titanium shit here to upgrade from fiber to. And I got the chest for Todd, your agent. That's a +13 over the fiber version. The cape is 6,400 Mercedes. That's a +20 for Nippo over the fiber cape I just bought for her back in fucking Zima. And I still had the doc. Like I said, this was the last episode. I hadn't switched over to the biologist yet, so I still had the doc when I came here. And I copped the acid shot for 4,800, and it reduced her attack and defense from the laser knife, but she did more damage. So, I mean, explain that. I don't fucking know. Like in battle, I like fence testing it in battle. It did more damage. It was doing 20 instead of 16.
God, my worst fucking nightmare.
I just have the math, just like, nope.
Yeah, just like, the math brain in me.
That happened to me. I bought the acid shot too, and I looked at the stats, and I immediately said, no, screw this. Like, she's already doing enough damage. Like, I don't understand.
Yeah,
but the acid shot is.
So wait, so
better.
are you saying the attack was the math was better on her stats and not
No, I'm saying the
opposed to
math was
battle?
worse on the stats, so I didn't even
Okay.
try the battle.
Yeah.
I just said,
Oh, I
forget
see.
it,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, yeah, I whatever. I think I might have went into the battle first and like just trying it out. I'm like, okay, it's doing more. How does that like? Yeah,
Interesting.
and I tried the laser shot too. I hadn't started checking the. This is what I kind of think that might have been actually the thing that got me like, okay, I got to check the fucking thing every time because I tried to get the laser shot for her and she couldn't wield it.
Comes
And
with
the biggest
territory
monetary
in these games.
For sure. Yeah, the biggest monetary fuck you that I had, though, was I got the ceramic shield at 8,300, and that's a +7 over the mirror, and the mirror was a bunch of money back in Zima, too, so that was a huge fucking expense. And I don't, no one else I want even to have a shield. They're two-handed and everything, so I couldn't even, like, hand me down that shit. It was fucking pretty rough.
Dag, I'm not even using any shields at all. I just decided I'm just not.
I'm not anymore either.
shielding.
Yeah, we'll get to that. But yeah, at the time, I was still thinking perhaps it was beneficial. I think, like I said, this is last episode. I hadn't gotten Jab's intel on the two-handing shit that we talked about last time.
I'm
It didn't even
two-handed.
occur to me that
Two-handling all the way, like either a two-handed weapon or like dual wielding.
Dual,
Yeah.
right? Yep. Same. I imagine there's probably not anything else commerce-wise that you guys need to talk about from there, yeah?
No, I mean I bought everything here that I could, all the titanium armor, everything. Yeah, and then later regretted that immediately, but yeah.
Right. I took my time to get to that next one, so I didn't have I didn't have the same thing happen immediately on top of coming out of here. Thank God. We'll talk about Piata down the line here. First, let's talk about doing some jet scooting. So I come out of here. Well, like I said, I didn't even need to go to Curie. I'd already done that, so I was doing this right after. But I guess I'd be curious to hear what you guys did, assuming you went to Curie next.
Yeah, I went to Curie next only because I knew there was a town over in that direction, just
right. We talked
from the map, and I was talking about it. So I was like, it was annoying to get to. First of all, I kept like fighting so many battles. But yeah, that's where I ended up going. So it was pretty annoying to get to, but from there I was good.
Okay, same. Jab, you head there as well.
When I got the jet, you were talking about what we did when we got the jet ski.
Right afterwards, yeah.
Yeah, my first thing, I just checked map is circular, world is round, and then I just checked everywhere. Basically drove around the entire thing.
That's what I did coming out of Curie. I did a counterclockwise fucking lap around the whole joint just to kind of see what I see,
Yep. And there's actually not a whole lot out there, so
There's not. Yeah, it's just the fucking central landmass and then a little bit of islands off the southeast side there. So yeah, I mean, if I did going around, I saw the fucking those inroads at all the cardinal directions, like right in the middle of the island. The wide things that you can go down, the tunnels or whatever. So I did check those, and at the end of each one is a dam, a colored dam.
So I went into that. I was gonna say, I forgot. Before I went out, I went up in there first and went through it, and then I was like, I don't know what this place is. I'm pretty sure I'm not powerful enough to be here. So I just turned out and dipped out.
Well, you wouldn't have got far if you'd have tried to, because there's a locked door inside each one that we don't have a card key for. Like there's a color-coded lock door inside that you need a card key for, and yeah, we don't have any of those. Okay. So I checked them all like a fucking fence test and everything, and yeah, there's nothing you can do in there, and the door is literally right there next to the stairway, so you can't explore shit inside.
I didn't do any of that. I kind of figured that was the case because we haven't been hearing about dams in the past couple towns, and I figured we would hear something first, and then of course they're going to be locked. They're not just open. So
that's probably smart. That is probably smart. So no POIs really reachable from the coast on the southeast quad of the mainland. Once I got down there, there's a ton of the small tubes that kind of partition that whole quadrant up, and by my measure, looking at it from the fucking coastline, I didn't see any way to that town, Piata. Mm-hmm. So I just assumed that there was another way to get in there, and I didn't even really fully test it out. I did disembark at one point on the northern corner of it, coming out, because basically, like I said, I went counterclockwise, right? So when after I checked that dam on the east tunnel, I just popped onto the land there beneath it, thinking I'd be able to walk wherever I needed to on the fucking southeast quadrant just by getting onto this land there. And yeah, I quickly found that it's a dead end up there. So I assumed it was like that everywhere, and I wouldn't be able to find a way to Piata, that we'd have to tunnel in there somehow or another. So yeah, I didn't even try Piata before I got into my Uzo Island bullshit.
Really?
Because I assumed I was walled off.
Same. I actually immediately went west thinking like, okay, using the laws of Dragon Warrior, I should be able to go through the screen. And I ran to smack into it. So I was like, oh, this is perfect. So I went there first and then went to all the wrong places. I think I landed on all the wrong spots for the false mirror.
Yeah, you got it. I think there is only the one. It's like on the southeast corner there.
Yeah, there's only one that's like good. So like I kept, and so like I was about to die. And then I realized, okay, maybe I'm not strong enough. And like I saw something in the strategy guide that said like, you want to get more powerful weapons from Piata first. I was like, all right, let me go. Let me get out of here. Then I went and found Piata.
Yeah, I tried at several of the landing points. I'm looking at the map now. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 landing spots that you can do in the southeast, and I think I tried like 4 of them before I got the right one. Because I landed and then I'd walked and I saw a bridge eventually, and I was like, oh shit! Like obviously this is
it's that one. Yeah. See, that's the thing. Landing in the northeast corner, you don't see that bridge. Those bridges. So yeah, I assumed that I was fucked. I think I'm pretty sure. Like I said, I did Uzo first because of that like seeming dead end. But the next time I like decided to go to Piata, I think I landed on the right. At least one of them close enough to see the bridge to not spend too many time failed fence testing.
And I wonder if this explains, because I remember when I did, I mean, a little bit ahead of the game here, but like I had an easier time with Uzo than I think you did, and that's because I got to Piata first.
Probably, probably.
I got in there. I was like, that fucking bad, man. Like it's tedious, like all these things are. But
it wasn't. It wasn't necessarily getting my head caved in Uzo. And we'll talk about it here in the next segment. But it's the fucking, the just wandering, fucking aimless. Hope you get it right nature of it. Even with. I'll save it. But fuck it, It's the duration of time you have to spend there, not the intensity of it.
Yeah. And here's what's really crazy about that statement is that happens twice in this episode.
For sure. Foreshadowing and a half. Yeah. So those islands are off the coast of the southeast area. There's 2 of them, I believe.
Yeah. Looks like 3 actually.
Okay, so 3. So I think it's the northernmost one that you're actually after here. And the first time I went there, I lucked into disembarking right on the southeast corner of that island.
Same.
So I went right in. Yeah. And the next time back, I disembarked on the west side of the island, and I thought I was fucking tripping. If you just walk into those mountains, nothing fucking happens against those sprites. And I was, what the fuck, man? And yeah, in the group chat, I know, Jab, you were talking about it. I'm assuming, Jay, you had at least one moment of that.
Well, I already knew because I did the same thing. I went right on the east side, so I went walked right into the mountain. So I kind of knew like, okay, when I came back again, I was like, all right, I got to go back around to that same spot again. So that's
that was not intuitive to me because every fucking game we've ever played, if you would have been able to just walk onto it shouldn't have mattered, or I shouldn't say it shouldn't have mattered in the laws of RPGs of the era. You don't have like one side of a sprite that is not.
I hear you.
Broachable, you know what I mean? So I was like, I walked into the fucking mountains. I was like, well, these fucking islands are all kind of the same. I get back in my scooter. I go down like the other one. I'm like, no, this isn't fucking it. So but it was definitely a genuine what the fuck moment for a beat. So I was like, well, I guess maybe I go back to the exact same spot and see. But fucking,
I just drove around the fucking 3 islands like 10 times, thinking like, okay. That's it. Like, there's gonna be an entrance, right? No,
right. Maybe it moves.
Deadly Towers again.
Right, yeah, maybe it fucking moves on me. Yeah. It's fucking magical in some way, shape, or form. Uzo Mountains. It's foggy in here. And Foggy Death Mountain from Zelda 2 is what I would call this. I don't know if you guys remember Death Mountain. explicitly from Adventure to Link, but wandering around, walking into caves that just like you don't actually get any cave action. You just get dumped out into another enclosed valley in an overworld mountain range, and that amounts to a maze basically, which mazes suck.
Yes.
I would wander for a bit, and I would find I'm doing no mapping here. That was a bad idea, but because it's overworld, I wouldn't even think to map overworld stuff, but I would find a weeping willow-looking tree in a clearing at the top of a mountain, much like what's behind Jay here, on what I perceived to be the west side of the island, based on the navigating that I had been doing, and I was certain I had hit pay dirt. But alas, I had not. The copy you get when you walk up to the wrong tree reads, "It looks like a Mora tree, but it isn't." And on another of the same deal, again, which I perceived to be perceived only, to be the east side up top, same thing would happen again.
Yeah.
There's a lot of these that are not the Mora tree. How long did you guys wander aimlessly on this fucking pile of sand before you found the Mora tree?
So the first time I found 2 Morara trees, false Morara trees, and then I died. So I looked at the guide and realized,
like full party wipe?
No, I think a couple people died, and I was just like, all right, I think, like, what am I doing right now? What am I doing? So
I
just
don't think I've
paused.
had a full party wipe in the overworld map before. I guess this isn't technically.
I'm like, this is
overworld
not
map.
the overworld map. We
Yeah,
went into a secret
it's a
entrance,
dungeon, yeah.
and now,
Yeah, it's technically not the. It's just a different, an outdoor dungeon.
But I mean, yeah, that's when I looked at the strategy guide and it was like, you need powerful weapons from Piata first. So I was like, that makes sense. I just died out of there.
Okay.
And then when I came back, it still would take me, man. I still even came back like I was much more powerful, so the battles didn't really matter. But I would I'd still wandered like and found like 2 or 3 more before I would find the other one. I was so over it after this dungeon.
Similar issues, Jeb?
A little different. So I was wandering, yes, but since I came in with the Piata gear, and do you happen to remember what level you guys were?
Coming into here, I didn't mark down my ratio.
I didn't either, and I'm not going to dick with it right now.
Yeah.
But I was doing pretty well. So, I mean, but like, this is not a surprise for anybody listening right now, but like, that's the thing about these kinds of RPGs is like, sometimes even when the enemies aren't difficult, it's just like the duration of wander is what gets you.
Yeah, it's the attrition for sure.
Yeah, definitely the attritional aspect. So I didn't have too much trouble getting in, though I had been looking through the strategy guide. I can't remember for what. And did you notice anything about our strategy guide's map here?
Yes, for sure.
They're marked.
Yeah, it's funny that we're all saying kind of the same thing, because I am of the same mind. I basically a bit more like hopelessness saturated fucking wandering around after that second tree. I was just like fuck it, and looked in the fucking book. So it sounds like we all hit that fucking that wall at the exact same moment, kind of. And yeah. When I first opened it up, oh my god! When I first opened it up and saw the size of the map covering 2 pages,
right.
LOL. I was like, "Fucking get the fuck out!" I could have wandered around here for a fucking eternity.
I did.
Like,
oh my gosh,
right.
I was so mad.
And Jab, I imagine what you're alluding to is particularly like the kid that owned this book scrawled NO next to most to most of the 7 trees atop the mountain peaks. He left 2 undone. Yep. So he must have found it on the 6th one, which was I love the little mini story that you can gather from looking at that.
True.
Yeah.
So
he found it on his 6th try.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's what I was looking at. I was like, oh my gosh, man.
Do we know his name, by the way? Like, is the
I haven't found anything that suggests there's because it came. I think this was a pack in which case it's not like it would have a mailing label on it or anything.
That's right. It's not like Nintendo Power or something.
Right.
Yeah, because the one we did, it was actually some buddies. It was like something Wood, I think.
Sure.
But anyways,
some of them certainly. Yeah. But yeah, I'm looking at it like once I get the map open and I'm trying to think, where the fuck was I / am I?
Yeah.
What's funny is the map
2
is
that I
even
found
fucking useful.
Right, it's not. It's rough, man. Especially without the kids scrawling on it. It's useless, basically.
Yeah, like you don't know where the caves go.
You don't know where the caves go, and you don't know which of those trees is the one. So what's the point of this? I mean, I guess having the map was helpful. So it's not that it's useless, I suppose.
Yeah,
but it is not. It certainly doesn't give you the answer,
Right.
which we've talked about. That is this was a pack in. They weren't trying to just hand you the keys to the fucking final boss or anything.
Right.
So I get that. But it does not. Other than just having a general idea of how the fuck this layout is, which when I looked, it took me a while to figure it, to compute it, but the two that I found were the westernmost ones. So I was the furthest, which of course makes sense for the way the flow of this would go. They would put you the furthest from the fucking goal, right?
Yeah.
So I had to fucking work my way all the way over to that east side where it is, and it's not the one all the way to the right, it's the second from the right.
Mm-hmm.
That is your actual target Mora tree. And it is a massive fucking to do. I had both save scumming and meticulously staring at the map to exhaust all the possible cave options before it's the third from the right. Sorry, in the middle-ish, not the second from the right.
Oh, sorry.
A whole fucking to do. When you finally do, the copy you get reads, "This is it. This is the Mora tree. Dime has found the Mura leaf. Dime has gotten hold of Mura leaf." So it's redundant, which is fucking weird. So you want to take that back to Curie, of course, so you can talk to fucking inventor, Home Skillet there. And he said, when you walk in, he says, "That's it, a Mora leaf, please give it to me." And if you say no, like a dickhead, he says, "That's too bad. Well then, goodbye." And if you say yes, like a not shithead RPG player, he says, "Thanks, if you wait, I'll make you the gum." Done. There's plenty, so take some. There you go. Farewell. And then Dime Piece had Moro gum in her pocket. Piata Town now. This one is in the southeast quadrant, as we discussed, and you have to hop off the scooter at the end of the southern peninsula and weave through a bunch of bridges connecting to a mess of land masses broken up by the tubes. Inside, there is plenty of water, lush greenery, a solid place to settle down with a couple of kids, and maybe one of those little racist dumpster diving cat people bigots also, if you want. It's quite broken up by little creeks everywhere, almost makes it feel island-like and in tune with the old world map surroundings, so that was a good design job, I thought. Making it feel and look semi-unique despite involving the same sprites that are in every fucking town on this planet.
Yep.
On one positive note, fortune smiles upon thee. There are clues here that it's time to take to the final frontier. Space! So let us discuss the townsfolk chatter that covers that. The Walmart greeter here is a rather young fellow, interestingly. You don't see a lot of the young blokes welcoming you to town in these places. But here we do have one. He says, "I wanted to be a pilot, but I guess I can't be one since there's no spaceship." That's correct. You need, to be a pilot, you need a thing to pilot. That is accurate.
Indeed.
A cat fucker to his south would also be mistaken as a greeter, perhaps, until it opens its mouth. Says, "Oh no, humans!" And there's fucking humans everywhere, homie. Like, if you're not a fan, you should relocate to that trash pile down in the peninsula Roron with the rest of your dumpster diving brethren. Like, these fucking dudes are off the fucking... I don't know, man. They're fucking extreme as shit. Yeah, they are. They're extremists. That's what they are. They're fucking extremists.
I didn't realize you felt so strongly about this.
Dude,
I
cannot believe how adamant they are in their opinions and their willingness to express them publicly. At least modern day bigots in fucking the U.S. are they try to I mean, some of them are obviously whatever on the sleeve, but a lot of people like that are fucking it's on the down low. They just whisper that shit to someone wearing the same fucking hat or whatever.
Yeah.
This these motherfuckers are just out, just screaming it fucking in the streets.
I didn't realize you felt so strongly about this. Wow.
There's a woman outside the item hut. She says, "Everyone used to believe that traveling in space was not dangerous at all." And that got me thinking, what a wild concept.
Yeah.
You'll never convince me that terrestrial commercial air travel is safe. Fuck you if you're strapping me in to a space rocket. Just I'm a common person that's going to buy a ride on your space rocket and go somewhere commercially.
no
that's
thanks.
never going to happen. It's hard enough to get me on a plane. I don't know. where do you go? So we're not terribly far from it. I mean, we are in our lifetimes. We will probably have the financial means to let Elon, Bezos, or even Branson, if all that stock I bought in Virgin Galactic doesn't completely tank before it's possible, one of these fuckers putting you in a rocket and letting you go up to space. Like, what is your guys' stance on doing that?
I'm on a hard pass. I'm definitely not trying to go to space.
Definitely not trying to go to space.
Like, I love all those space movies. Like, I watch them. They're exciting and cool. But in real life, it's like, like, what are we talking about for real?
Yeah, I don't need to go there. Say it's like the ocean. Like, that's fucking really cool. I'm not going down, and I don't need to go down there. I'm aware of my biological limitations and the inappropriateness for me in that environment. I can live with that.
I don't know what the cost-benefit analysis here. Like, I don't know what I'm benefiting by attempting.
Yeah.
What do you mean cost-benefit analysis? The benefit
there's
is
no benefit.
yes, there is. The benefit is being in fucking outer space. Like, I would absolutely go.
Oh, you're out of your mind.
Oh my god! I don't know. Like, I'm 60 years old, and it costs $75,000. Like, I don't know if that's ever going to be in my life, but like, I think I would do it.
Jab is over here giving us the supply and demand intersection on his fucking graph over here.
You were talking about cost.
60 years old.
You literally said cost benefit, and I said the benefit is space. The cost, if it were $75,000, and I'm 60 years old. And I've got the money, I think I'm fucking doing it, man. Like, it's outer space. Now, I will agree with you with the ocean. No, sharks are out there, and you're fucking out of your mind if you think I'm...
Well, if you put me... I'm not worried about the sharks. I'm worried about the thing just...
Crazy statement.
Fucking imploding.
I'm talking about, like, going in the ocean at all. I will not swim in the ocean. Fuck that.
Sure, but swimming and going... If I'm in a submersible, I don't even think about that.
I'm not, either way, I'm not going in the ocean.
We don't have, no one's going to invent Moragum, Jack. We're not going to swim down there.
That's true.
Yeah, I'm just trying to live, and I have kids too. Like, honestly, I used to be way more like, let's gung-ho, take risks, whatever.
That's true, dude.
But with kids,
it definitely stresses me out. Like, I hate flying, period, and it stresses me out. All I do is think about death the entire time I'm on the plane. But when I fly with Miyagi, especially like when I took him to Atlanta last year, like, I'm flying down there for work, so it's a stupid fucking reason. It's not a reason that I really need or want to be going for. So the idea of, like, me dying for that sucks and will be stressful, of course, as the plane crashes into whatever it crashes into. But the idea of my dog, who doesn't even understand or know what's happening, dying because my dumbass is going to Atlanta, made me, like, emotionally crippling the entire time I'm in the process of it. So yeah, that definitely makes it harder. I imagine with kids it probably maybe even magnifies, although I don't know, I think I love Miyagi just as much as any human being could be capable of loving something. So don't give me that human babies are better shit.
Moving on.
Yeah. All right, so glad we covered that. An old man on the same block spun me some of that Todd yarn. He said, "Todd, I may have seen such a name on the boarding list of that last spaceship." And I don't know, man. Like, I mean, like, Todorino, he gets around, but he ain't got to space yet. Yeah. I've been here with him the whole time, and this dude might be off his meds.
I actually found it really curious. I thought that was like, intrigue. Like, is there more to us?
Well, exactly. Yeah. Is there more to your backstory than we know? Yeah. Right. Is the implication there for sure? And like, I guess really also because the fact that it's not conveyed to you in any way prior to this insinuation suggests that maybe there is, some aspect of like how much are we supposed to know? Is it just the audience not knowing something, or does our character Todd also not know whether he was on that spaceship? You know what I mean? Yeah, and that's interesting for sure. And I'm guessing, there's a woman panhandling near the subway. She says, they say a number of people got killed in the accident of 10 years ago. So some big fucking catastrophic thing happened, and I'm guessing it's her kid nearby that seems like he's getting off the spaceship shit for just a sec, but then he brings it right back around to the singular focus of the community. He says, Mother Brain is watching over us, right? So I think we're talking about Mother Brain. And he's like, then why do accidents happen? And he's alluding to the spaceship shit that she was just talking about.
It's like a little commentary on like God too from a kid. Kids usually have good takes on that.
Sure. Is that did you hear the Trump thing?
No, I thought it was for sure, but it was actually an ambulance. It's going towards the nursing home. It always happens. It's like, I hear it go by, I'm like, oh, fuck, someone's dying.
Right, yeah. There's plenty of older people that live here as well. And, we see ambulances like, oh, there's another free or open apartment.
One less.
Apartment for sale. There's a whole gaggle of peeps spouting off about this stuff north of the entrance as well, near the control towers. Just to rattle through all their dialogue. Hey, what's outside of Algo? How come we can't go there? When people refer to the accident 10 years ago, they mean the collision of spaceships over Dezo. After the accident of 10 years ago, the use of any spaceships has been prohibited. Did you know that it is impossible to travel to outer space now? There used to be spaceships taking off for Palm and Dezo one after the other, when there was a spaceport. And the last spaceship was headed toward the outside of Algo. So there's just a little fucking speed dating fucking information sesh about the space travel situation here in town. And a girl that should take the Walmart greeter's gig immediately, she's doing much better job at it, also says, this town is called Piata. There used to be a spaceport near here. So get you thinking about that little POI. Mm-hmm. And I did mention the control towers a minute ago. And these are in, I'm pretty sure, all the towns. Most of them, if not. And I actually interacted with one for the first time or inspected or whatever. So I got the copy that it gives you when you do that. And it reads, this is the control tower which links the town and Mother Brain in one network. And that was, it stood out to me as new copy that I was certain I hadn't seen. And I thought it was interesting world building that those buildings, which again are present in every town, are the fiber of the global network that Mother Brain exerts her omnipotence through. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And that's kind of interesting that there's like these big monuments to the control that she has assumed on this planet. I thought that was a cool story building thing.
Yep. I thought we tracked that in the first town. I thought maybe...
I didn't remember it.
I didn't either.
Did.
I thought I inspected. Maybe I inspected one town. I wonder if you could get it at any...
Oh, yeah, I'm sure that they do, yeah. But
okay.
I'm saying I hadn't thought to do that prior.
Me neither. I feel like this was a brand new experience also.
Okay. So wait, so you did inspect it and had that happen?
Yeah, I was like, found the control tower that links Mother Brain to the town. Like I wrote that on specifically thinking.
Interesting, yeah. Then maybe it's awfully odd that we both would just think to do that for the first time here, I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess because aren't they, are they over? No, they're in like the main area.
No, they're over... Like to the left, because everything.
Oh, in
else
that little
is kind
area.
of
So
like,
maybe
maybe
it is something about that area that just draws your eyes to them then, because there's less to do over there. I don't know. Yeah, that's interesting though.
It's kind of all there is at a certain point. Like there's 2 buildings in between them. There's 3 towers, and it's like,
right.
Well, I obviously can't go inside any of them. Like maybe I can talk to them. So maybe that's why you did it.
I could talk to them. Yeah. Yeah, and to even find this area, you have to do your due diligence. Like you got to kind of wrap around up top and go through that little exit courtyard park area, and then head south to there's a bunch of dead trees and there's fucked up sidewalks. So this is like the hood part of town, And there is a cat bigot here that is less uptight about humans. I guess maybe because there's few over here. I don't know. But he says, I heard that there are all kinds of arms in the dam, and despite his, lack of focus about humans relative to the others, there are 2 over here. There's 2 old farts that I guess don't grind. Maybe old farts don't grind their gears as much. I don't know what would be the deal with that. But the one says, I hear nobody survived in the accident of 10 years ago. And the other says, people used to dream about traveling outside of Algo, but now it just can't be done. So I think pretty clearly we have the objective here laid out, that the spaceport that has been decommissioned, that we need to find a way to show these kids how to be capitalistic role models by getting commercial space travel back in a positive light and in the public eye, and more importantly, their wallets, and maybe even save my over-leveraged position in Virgin Galactic. Come on, baby. Daddy needs a new pair of Josh Allen skivvies. Restoring consumer confidence in industry safety, kind of like Boeing is doing by actually making sure all the screws in their doors stop falling off. All the screws in their doors are screwed on so the doors stop falling off, is kind of what we need to do here, I think. Commerce time. So we have the hospital, whatever the fuck that charges. There is the Glam Band Weapons hut, and this is laser focused this time, as opposed to, I guess it was the armor thing that was titanium focused last time, but this weapon shop has a laser theme here. They have the sword at 5,400, the bar at 3,100, the shot at 6,200, and then the cannon at 20K. They also have the acid shot and the Vulcan, 2 other guns if you're still rolling with your what's the blonde haired dude? What's he do? Hunter.
Hunter, yeah. Rudo.
Rolling with him. Right.
Rudolph.
Right. If you don't rename him.
Dean with a gun. Yeah.
Dean was fucking Toothless Dean. That's right. Yeah,
Toothless Dean. I fucking forgot about that.
Just can't get any better than that. Fucking Toothless Dean.
Fucking thank God.
The weapon chart says Todd is the only one that can use the sword, but it's 100 action attack points and 18 defense to offset the two-handedness, so because you can't use a shield or anything. And at only 5,400 mesetas, I was like, that seems like a wild-ass jump. It was such a fucking drastic number thing that I thought that maybe the SWRD sword shortening might mean I was looking at the wrong thing on the supporting documentation. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I just didn't believe that the numbers were what they were. But nope, I bought that fucker, and it's plus 43 AP and plus 9 DP over my double knife dual wielding situation.
It's just not very expensive.
Yep, fucking sold.
Hot deal.
Yep, but that was the only thing I went with on the weapon front. Did you guys do any other weapon stuff here?
Absolutely, man. I leveled up and got that laser cannon for Dean with a gun. Dean has a cannon, baby.
Okay. Yeah, I got him on the bench, so I didn't fuck with any of these guns.
Really? Oh man, he does big damage with that.
Oh yeah, he's good. Yeah, I got him a Vulcan because Vulcan is a gun that robots can use in Final Fantasy Legend 2. And I was like, I'm going to trust that.
Don't even need the math. All I need is the story. So the gear shop is a whole new ball game as well. It has the silver crown at 470, the jewel ribbon at 4,700, and then long boots at 6,800, and then a bunch of ceramic shit. They got the armor at 11.7, cape at 12.4, and the chest at 10k flat. The long boots are guardian only, and while they're a +2 on agility over the knife boots, which Dime Piece can also rock, they offer no attack benefits. So keeping the knife boots, to me, was the ideal thing there. No deal on that proposed upgrade, Sega. The jewel ribbon is a +9 over the silver one on Neh, so obvious upgrade there. And the silver crown for my biologist, which, like I said, I had dropped the dock and moved to the biologist by this time, would be a lateral move from the titanium headgear, so I passed on that as well. And then for the ceramic shit, I grabbed the chest for the agent and the bio boy. It worked for both of them. And then the cape for Dime Piece. Bumps of 25 and 28 respectively. Boom shakalaka! I rolled in here and I dropped 40k mesetas. Like an absolute fucking baller in this joint when I finally got my ass inside.
Are you kidding me? I got all the ceramic stuff. I was like, give me the armor, the cape, the chest.
Did you have enough dough rolling in? I have so much money. I have so much money.
I did not because I grinded at the last place and then came here. So then I had to just grind outside to buy.
Fucking spoiler alert, I did no grinding at all for this episode.
Wow.
None.
Wow.
Yeah, not a fucking second of it. Because I wandered the fucking Uzo Mountain forever and then also wandered fucking the goddamn Climatrol forever. So, I mean, what the fuck? Grinding.
Yeah.
Like I said, I died at Uzo, so I had to kind of come back and... Yeah.
I came into this... I came in a little kind of over-leveled to the front of this episode anyway, so I had that little baby boost, I guess, to that sentiment. But still, yeah, I mean, I spent so much time wandering that I didn't even cross my mind to grind. So once you do all that commercial shit here and acquire that information, what comes next? And I had no fucking idea what to do coming out of here. Did you guys have an inkling? I mean, I knew, like, I'd done the full lap around the continent, and I was looking for the different colored water that I'd been tipped off about in Curie, but I didn't fucking see anything. And I also think, because of the Piata information, that I'm trying to get what I presume is a spaceport in the dry lake bed, that you can see that POI in there from near Zima. You know, you can see there's a city looking or some sort of sprite in the dry lake bed that you can see there. Mm-hmm. So I knew I'm maybe trying to get there, but I've found, and the 4 dams are card keyed up. So like and I've looked in my mind everywhere in the ocean that I could look. So like, cause I was looking for, like, I expected there to be like a multi-tile sprinkling out from a landmass for this lake bed water that was escaping into the ocean. I expected to see that coming from some land, you know what I mean? So I had checked the periphery of every single landmass on the fucking map and found nothing. So between that and finding and seeing no way to get to the dry lake bed, I was fucking stumped, man. I had no idea what to do. Did you guys fucking have? I mean, no one tells you. I don't think. I don't believe anyone tells you what to do next. Did you guys have a fucking tip or something that I missed?
I think I was just so like frustrated after my Uzo experiences and like because of the literal hours I spent back and forth in that place. I looked at the strategy guide next and said, "Oh, that it says to go south from there." So I was like, "All right,
okay,
it makes sense. I'll just go south and figure it out."
Jab?
Yeah. So I had found. Do they call that? Anyway, one thing at a time. I had found a differently colored sprite of water while I was like circling the globe.
You found that?
Yeah, because like
you, man.
I got the fucking jet ski, and like save states make this so easy because like I don't have to get frustrated with like the effort of doing it, which is kind of maybe the purpose. But like, anyways, yeah. So like I went around the island, and of course you wouldn't see it from just going around the island,
right?
And I was like, but I'm gonna sail out like into the open sea and see if there's like more shit out there. So I eventually came across that, and that's the only sprite that I could think of that was differently colored. My question is, were people calling it a lake bed?
No, the lake bed is the thing in the middle of the continent.
Oh, okay.
That
gotcha.
big, yeah. That is the lake that is dry.
Yeah.
That you're trying to.
I thought you were saying they were referring to that to a lake bed. I was like, well, that would be confusing because it's in the middle of the ocean.
Right.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
No. Yeah. The idea is that there's like some sort of tunnel that connects the two, and the fresh water is leaking up into the ocean there.
Right.
Yeah. I also, Jay, I couldn't fucking. I mean, I wandered and 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 found fucking nothing. So I looked it up begrudgingly. Yeah.
Oh man.
I mean, I immediately thought of like they DW2 sunken treasure our ass here is exactly what I thought of.
Yeah.
But even like we're looking for like you said, Jeb, a single patch of discolored water south of Uzo Islands, and it's a ways off, and I don't remember a single fucking word from any time, and I talk to every fucking asshole I see, obviously, and write it down even. So I don't think you get any direction for this.
I still had to loop up and down. I definitely was like, oh my gosh. Like it still took me a while, even with knowing like to go south. I was still frustrated.
Yeah, I mean, I think at DW2, I'm pretty sure, I mean, it's been a bit now, and I don't recall everything, but I believe they tell you it's explicitly tell you it's directly north, or it is north of that fishing town.
Oh, they definitely give you coordinates. Like it's out, blah blah blah.
North somewhere. I don't know about coordinates, but they
no,
give
not
you,
specific
they
coordinates. What I mean is like they're like it's northwest of a thing.
Right. Yeah, and it is literally like if you fucking sail. Like, if you come out of that town where you get the ship in the northwest corner of the Dragon Warrior 2 map and just literally hold the up key, you run right into it. So, and yes, and they tell you it's north of there. So, like, you might not think to, like, go exactly north for fucking until you hit it, but you at least have some general idea of what to do. I don't think anything is given to you here, and that is fucked up to be looking for. Again, like, my inkling was that it just never crossed my mind that the tunnel could go all the way out into the middle of nowhere in the ocean. That just never even crossed my mind as a possibility.
But even once you know that, though, like the first time I came here, because obviously I died and had to come back here again in this process. Like the first time, I somehow went south at the right spot and like made it to it pretty okay. The second time, like I wasn't coming out of the same spot, and I just looped around, and I was I was like, oh my gosh,
gotta drop those breadcrumbs.
It's
gotta
like
drop
that?
those breadcrumbs. Yeah, I mean it is it's directly south of that lower Uzo Mountain Island.
Yeah.
So if you have that internalized, it's very easy to find. But I don't think direction for that comes from anywhere, and that is a really tough design decision, I think. In my opinion. When you do find it, it says the color of water around here certainly, and that's it. There's no ellipses. There's no
I was like,
period.
I kept pressing it
no,
over and over.
This part was
it would
weird.
just repeat.
No anything else. And then, hopefully you think to use the gum. I did. It says the party eats Maro gum. With each bite, everyone's mouth fills with air. Could help underwater, and at least you do get 2 ellipses there, making it a real sentence, kind of. So you go down into what is Climatrol from here, and there is a very nice looking water effect overlay inside of here, this first floor. There's a lot of So the idea is like it's a sea cave. I think there is a lot of for like in the same way. I think it was the biosystems lab would have that green, or was it pink shit maybe?
Yeah, like that
Pink or green.
haze.
No. The splotches on the ground, the hazard tiles.
Oh yeah.
Some kind. It's a marsh like it's the marsh equivalent basically. HP draining tiles that you got to walk on. And down here they're orange, whatever they were suggesting they are. I don't know, some sort of fucking who knows what. But I come down here, and the second I got down here, I was like, okay. After the Uzo experience, bust out the map or the graph paper rather. Let's do some mapping because I know this is going to be just not good if you try to just wander. So I map my ass off, and it's a pretty. I mean, in here, it's a pretty limited array of adversaries. You got the ocean familiars. We got pug brats, fangs, and then one newbie, slug mess, which is one of those we don't die, we multiply types.
Yeah, they kind of suck actually.
Yeah. Because any replicating anything, especially if they're tough, and they do have some nice stats to them. But other than that, there's not much going on down here. If you wander and map long enough, you'll find some stairs up, and that's the only POI in this whole outlay. I assume you guys did not map. How did your initial forays here on this first level go? I imagine without maps, not well.
Not well. And I was looking at the strategy guide too, and I was still frustrated. So I was, at this point I was like, give me YouTube walkthroughs. Who's going where? And I was still dying and still falling into the holes because I didn't realize you could fall off the edge there. And I was like, So then I would try to just go back and like, no, I'm going to do it the right way.
Well, you're getting ahead. You're getting ahead of us. So you got inconsequentially got through the first level. Yeah. Jab, what about you?
I figured you had to work, so like I tried. I think you go down. Is it? Let me take a look here.
It's down to the left.
So you can go down, and So I was like, I went down 2 dead ends, and I was like, well, I'm just assuming that this is as far away as possible. So I just started working my way left. So just kept trying to go left.
Not too bad. Well, when you find those steps, you move up a floor, and you are moving up throughout this. The next one, we get into what is it is a traditional maze look, and the purple is the core color of it. And the enemies, of course, scale up as you're working through here. We get slug mess, spit kill, those badass rotwood dudes with their beaten sticks, the big fucking humanoid looking things. And scalies and fan bites. And levels 2 through 4 are all same square shit, different quadrilateral day. 3 has a chest with a jewel ribbon. 4 has a fiber vest. And what in the actual fuck are they giving us fiber class armor at this point in the game for? And that brought to my attention, in general, so far in this game, dungeon chests are dog shit.
Terrible.
Yes. There is nothing useful coming out of them.
Completely ignore.
Yeah. I don't.
I don't. I open them, but it's like.
But should. Yeah, we should for sure. So yes, level 1 was a mess. 2 through 4 are pretty small and simple. So I was feeling all right as I rolled into the 5th level in my little maps here. I got them all. I got all of them on the first page. Like 1 through 4 are all on one page of graph paper, and I'm like, okay, I'm cooking with gas here.
Look at me, I'm a big boy.
Get it. I roll into the 5th level, and you start trolling around here, and especially if you're heading upstairs further, to like see what's on the next level, you quickly realize like, oh, you're not even close to done with this joint. Like there's a ways to fucking go, and it is not a simple route for floors 5 plus. And I mapped like the full 5th floor and maybe 90% of the 6th before I just said, fuck this, I can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
And this happened to coincide with some rather good fortune, having found like I made this choice right as I'd found the teleporter along the south wall in the middle area of floor 6. And I had an inkling that a centrally located teleporter on 6 was the target goal here, just from kind of working through it and mapping that whole floor. So as soon as I get up to 7, I'm like, fuck it. And I just check the hint book map.
Yeah.
And the teleporter up to 8 that's in the southwest corner of floor 7 is the one you want because it's the only one that grants you access to the middle of floor 8, which very clearly looking at the map of floor 8 is your goal. Everything else is just like these partitioned off dead end kind of things, and obviously centrally on the top floor, that's where the boss is going to be or whatever. So I lucked into being at a place on the 6th floor when I started looking at maps to kind of just have a beeline there, thankfully. So that was a nice emotional little bump after what was a very tumultuous ride up to that point. So, yeah, for some, only the brave and dutiful. In that middle room on level 8 is a little albino girl awaiting you. And when you speak to her, you get some, it's not even, doesn't even talk first. You get fucking Todd's inner monologue. He says, "What's this? She looks just like Neh." And then she speaks and she says, "I am Neh first. I was born 2 years ago. I am the product of a biosystems experiment combining humans with animals. The people felt the experiment was a failure and this tried to kill me." And that's a little on the nose, but all right, Neh first. She goes on to say, "But I escaped and stole DNA from the biosystem. I have created monsters to wreak revenge on the people who so carelessly and selfishly played with life. But there is another Neh within me, a Neh who is trying to stop me." And then we come back to Todd here. Says, "It can't be. You don't mean." And he's just so like 80s Voltron anime dialogue. Todd is. He's great. And she says, "Yes, that is the one you call Neh. And the one you think is a friend is a monster who despises all people." And then Neh, yeah, she interjects and she says, "No! I don't hate humans like those little racist bastards. I separated from Neh first because it was so terrible inside of her, or terrible in her. Of course it is terrible to be born a monster, but I couldn't stand by while you tried to get revenge by creating monsters."
Wow.
And then Neh first replies, "Fool! You say such things, but you are powerless to stop me. Just try it." And that is not a question. It's a statement with an exclamation, but you were offered a yes-no choice anyhow. And that is an interesting design choice that we have not seen prior to this. So if you say no, Neh stood with her head down and didn't move. Or this is what the copy you get. Neh stood with her head down and didn't move. Since Neh and Neh first were originally both part of the same body, killing Neh first would mean the end of Neh also. And then you're just walking around again in here. Like you just disengage from the interaction. And, if that happens, I'm like, I'll be goddamned if I'm just walking around this fucking place anymore. So something's going to happen here. But if you do that, you bet your sweet ass they'll make you read all of that again. All that dialogue before you can get back to the spot where you can say yes instead. And that was just like such a sigh moment. But.
Yeah, I was the same. Like, I did the no just to like...
What?
I just wanted to see what was going on. And then, But no, immediately, because I've been in here and it's a fucking nightmare, immediately I'm like, well, I'm fighting her. Like, I didn't come all this way to not fight her.
Exactly. This is happening. This is going down no matter what fucking happens. Yeah, for sure. So yes, you say yes. I don't want you to make any more monsters. Do you understand? And then a battle between Neh first and Neh only begins, in which Neh gets absolutely fucking murked. Like, it is not even vaguely a contest. Or at least it wasn't for me. I guess I shouldn't assume that. Did you guys have any hope?
Murked.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I got whooped every time and I realized, okay, that this is supposed to happen. But also, I felt like if I could do better, maybe that would help my chances.
The next
Literally
thing?
same.
I didn't even think of that.
Yeah,
I bet not. I bet it
flow
resets.
chart.
Yeah, I would have no confidence anything you do in that first battle has any carryover at all. But that's a very nice thought. If that's possible, I would love to know the actual inner math of that, because that would be cool if it holds true. Yeah. So like, first things first. Neh first sprite. Too many firsts there, but Neh first sprite is very cool. If there's like a spider-looking sprite flashing up over top of her, she's got a really cool sword attack, and then some kind of hand projectile technique that she does. And the sword attack is it does like 100 damage on Neh, which is fucking intense. So adios Neh, 2 turns, Neh, gone. So you don't even fucking make a chink in the armor in that first battle. So when she dies, we cut to a close-up of Neh on a red background. He says, this is Todd speaking, I guess, says, "Neh, hold on." And then Neh replies, "There's no hope left for me. Please, Todd. Don't let them ever repeat the mistake they made when they made me. I hope everyone in Algo can find happiness in their new life." And after saying this, Neh died. The copy says. Todd laid Neh's lifeless body gently on the ground. And then he says, "Neh! I will avenge you!"
Justice
and then the
for
rest
Neh.
of the squad. Yeah. And then the rest of the squad squares up on this AI Neh that slayed her. And I failed this a number of times.
Yeah, this was not easy.
Yes.
Same.
Yes. Right. And that happened a few times. And I don't know about you guys, but I don't think prior to this point that I'd done, I think a couple of times just to fuck with it, I'd like cast the heal spell on myself as part of the flowchart for a battle, whatever. Maybe try a spell out just to see how it works so we can talk about it in arcane teachings. But I hadn't really sat down and mapped out a fucking technique strategy for a battle until here. Mm-hmm. I bust out the chart. Like, I die a bunch of times. I bust out my charts and I start looking at the description of each one, making fucking notes and fucking sketching a plan out like a fucking general, dude. Like, I'm like, okay, like the biggest problem to me was that special attack she was doing, hitting everyone. So I'm like, I need to find some way to nerf that. And Nature's Way, my biologist, has this thing, Shinza, that it said it nullifies enemy special attacks. So I'm like, score, right? So I cast that on turn 1 with the biologist. So, and then every time after that, it either did nothing when she would do it or really close to nothing.
Damn.
So that was a huge come up. And then to really bust out the big guns with Todd, I was rolling his Nafoy out. So that 3rd level fire spell of his, and that's doing 113 to 131 damage a pop. Right. So I was fucking rolling hard with that. And then I also on turn 1 used Shift with Dime Piece it's basically a fast spell. So it buffed her attack damage maybe 33%ish per turn for the whole fight, you know? And then lastly, I had, because Nature's Way, after he did that Shinza thing, he only has a piddly low level res spell for healing, you know, and his attack is the weakest of the bunch after this whole thing I'm doing. So I'm kind of designating him as a healer, but his heal spell is not good enough. So I had to transfer him all the die mates that I had in party to load him up with a heal that could actually get ahead of the fucking damage that this nice biomonster lady was dropping on my ass every turn, you know? So, yeah, it was like a really, really fucking meticulously mapped out approach. And it still failed, I think, once before it worked. But it did it immediately gave me a fighting chance that I could see. And that was a really cool feeling to like sit down and plot something out like that and have it actually have a demonstrable effect on the way the battle went, you know? So I thought that was really fucking cool. Yeah, man. How did you guys fucking deal with this?
So I had the same thing where, I died several times. So I went back out. So at this point, I had like the first 4 or 5 levels, like by memory in my mind, I could get through them like back and forth.
Sure.
But yeah, I went and stacked up on like the trimates, just stacked up on those. And then I came in, Dean, his laser cannon would blast, do a lot of damage. Same thing with my dude, Gent. I would be hitting him with that Nafoy, like blasting him as much as I could. And then I think on the first turn, I had Amy like try to do damage with the laser bars or laser knives, whichever one. I can't remember which one she has, but like just do damage.
This is the doctor?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then after that, they would be dedicated healer. Like dedicated heal stuff. Like you're either using the dimates or the trimates, or you're using your heal spell because they had like the G-res.
She has the good one, yeah.
Yeah, the good one. So like after that, it was just like
that's
Nafoys and like laser cannons back and forth. Finally took her out though.
Yeah,
Word?
Pretty much same for me. Got my ass kicked a couple times. Then I was like, I actually have to plan. So I also went to the strategy guide, checked things. I was using Nafoy from Jab, and then Jay, did you mention the spell Deban from Amy?
I tried that, but I wasn't sure how much. But I definitely like
it. Absolutely had an effect. Like it cut the damage down.
That's right.
Big
that's
time.
Right, yeah.
So I was kind of happy to see that.
That's cuts. You're saying cuts the enemy's damage down.
The damage dealt to you was cut down.
And that it's the melee damage, or you're talking about special attack?
It actually did both.
Oh,
as far as I could tell, I mean, I
do remember that now that you said that. Yep.
The melee, I think,
that was why it was hard for me because I was still getting hammered by that sword attack.
No,
sure.
I'm
absolutely
pretty
hammered.
sure the melee did maybe nothing, and then the sword did like 30. And it was just, I mean, at that point, it's just a matter of turns.
That was a game changer for sure.
Yeah, Amy's actually dope as fuck. She's a good character.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, when you topple her, the reward for doing so is 371 XP and 1,111 macetas of remuneration, which to me seems a little light, but what have you.
Like you said, we got plenty of money at this point anyways.
Yeah, right, exactly. I could care less, I guess, because I walk into places and just literally clean them out.
It's 40K as soon
Give
as
me
I walk in
everything
the
you
door.
got.
Right. So yeah, cut to a similar close-up as the last, but now a starry night sky background is behind her instead of the red. And Todd calls calls her name once again, but his plaintive cry merely echoes and re-echoes, which is quite a sentence. But his plaintive cry merely echoes and re-echoes. That's some fucking poetry right there. Back to the wide, the screen shakes about, and the copy reads, "The weather control system is shaking terrifically. Now Nefirst is dead. There is no one that is controlling it. All of the pent-up energy is pouring into the system." And then we cut to the overworld map, showing us the dry lake bed, where we see a sprite that could maybe be a tower or something shaking. That's that POI I mentioned earlier. And then we cut back inside with the group for some explosions all around the screen, and then back out to that same view of the tower, but now the lake bed is full of water. So we've refilled the lake bed now. And then back inside again to the party. And what has happened? Todd and the others quickly decide to return to Paseo. And then you are just magically in Paseo, where the party is on autopilot and heads into the clone lab. And after the clown's usual spiel, which I think that's interesting, that you're autopiloted in here. You're not doing it yourself, but the fucking clown still gives you the same, just walked in on a normal day copy that he gives you, which is fucking a weird choice. But he gives you that and who you'd like returned to you. And I don't know if you actually, I think you automatically select Neh, or it just assumes Neh or whatever. But he adds, the one called Neh? I'm sorry, but we really aren't able to return people who aren't human. It just doesn't work. And that makes me, I can't remember if I'd had to revive her or not, but that doesn't make sense.
I absolutely revived her.
Okay, so that's insane then. Fucking crazy. Whatever. Just above Paseo is a plateau. Why not put her to rest there? Don't be sad. Everyone must die sometime. Your friend led a full life. And that's fucking heavy shit for a fucking video game.
It is, but I also took it as, all right, well, I guess I'm going to go and recruit one of these other people, right?
I didn't immediately think that, but yes, once you're dropped back out, you're still on autopilot. We got more to do first. Yep. You're dropped on autopilot, and you go outside, and you trundle over to the main control tower, and inside is an alarmed military grunt, says, "Oh my gosh!" One word. "Oh my gosh!" And the lake is overflowing. There must have been an accident at Climatrol. All of the rain supply has flowed into the lake. Moda is going to flood. Run for your lives. It's a catastrophe. And then that crooked-ass general pipes up. He says, "Todd, once again, there's a serious problem." And that very much, to me, Jab, has Folan. Every time I see you, it has something to do with dope vibes to it.
I didn't take it that way, but yeah, I can see the vibe there.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Just when we were feeling relieved that those monsters had been taken care of, this happened. We could avoid the worst case if the dams could be opened, but there's no controls. Someone must go there and open them. And then Todd pipes up, says, "Please, let me do it." And the general comes back with, "Well, but I'm sorry to say this, but the government of Palm has announced your names as the ones who made Mother Brain so crazy. Right now, the security system is desperately trying to catch you guys. It is too dangerous to do anything that stands out. So, get in the Buick. I'm going to take you back home so you can't poison Tommy with your weed."
Wasn't there Subway sandwiches involved too?
No, we were coming back from Chinese at the Golden, what's it called?
You thinking Mandarin, maybe?
The Mandarin, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we walked back. They drove back. We walked back to smoke dope on the way back.
Classic.
Actually, right. And so we walk in on dope, and the bag of weed from my Buffalo Bills duffel bag is sitting in the middle of the living floor.
Oh my god!
Wow.
Yeah.
Did he go into your bag?
They went because someone he had been caught with Playboys
Wow.
That I think Kyle Koch maybe had been the source of recently. So they assumed that I was bringing over the Playboys.
Wow.
And found weed instead.
That's fucked up.
Great. It's fucking great.
Oh, man.
So good.
What a story.
I believe there was a weed pipe that I had bought from this kid that I was smoking dope before school with.
Yeah.
Out in the bleachers by the tennis courts. Jack, I think his name was. He was like a passer through kid. I think he like had transferred and was leaving again long before we graduated, if I recall correctly. And I had bought this weed pipe that was like it was like metal. It was almost like he had made it. It was like metal bolts and like
very rudimentary.
Yes. Well, I mean, it looked legit. He did a good job if he did make it. I don't recall, but yeah, it looked like it was well made. It wasn't fucking all haphazard and shitty, but it was just like shit that you could acquire from a fucking
hardware store,
probably. Right. Yeah. Industrious little potheads.
That's incredible. How old are you?
Oh my gosh. That's 7th grade, I think.
Holy shit. It's like 13.
Yeah, when that happens.
All right.
I didn't even know what that was back then.
Oh man.
We did.
I was selling weed. Yeah, we did.
What?
It was abundant. I was just stealing it from Mike.
Yeah,
I wasn't like acquiring weed from a dealer. I was stealing weed from home and just selling that shit at school for fucking Nintendo 64 money and shit. That's yeah. Anyhow, so yeah, back to this general. So yeah, he's saying we're the root of the problem, and he thinks maybe he can't assign me any fucking missions or anything. But because apparently Todd is so adamant about helping, he says, "I see. I won't say any more. Take care of yourselves." So he's kind of just like turning a blind eye to the situation in a very bizarre exchange. So yeah, so now we kind of know what we're supposed to do. Go deal with these dams.
Yep.
We don't know how to do it. Moving into bestiary annals, we'll discuss our 3 favorite pulls each from this section of the game. Jab, what do you got first? You never have your shit done, so you never go first. So
we're supposed to do that? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Oh shit, really? No, and I'm glad I get to go first because this one was really important to me. My first one, actually, I don't need to see it. I got it written down. My first one is the glow stick. And the reason I really wanted to get this one is it reminds me of the giant cove tree in Subnautica.
Yeah, that's a cool. That's a cool pull. Yeah.
A lot of Subnautica vibes in this, like you said, the Reaper,
Ocean, ocean stuff out here.
I wonder if it's a coincidence or if, like, the Subnautica developers had
we're big Phantasy Star fans.
Maybe,
yeah,
right.
There's plenty of interviews out there with that guy. That's a good question to ask.
We could easily look up the rosters for these games, and you should be able to make a connection with the Control F search.
Like I said, I've watched the interviews of because it was a super small team that initially did that.
Yeah,
the first one.
Oh yeah, it was like a few people.
Right.
Anyways, they look real cool. They got like bluey, glowy pustules, and they're like a tree kind of looking thing. 120 HP, 330 experience, and 315 Maseta for your trouble.
Any special attacks? Do they do anything cool?
No, I don't think so. I didn't write one down at least.
Okay. Fuck, copy.
Ah, shit, I didn't do it well, see?
Yep, there's always a failure of some kind.
Indeed.
Jay, what do you got?
Fuck, tell me about it, buddy. How long you got? I could talk about it for a while.
So starting with the blockhead, stupid thing that I would always see in Uzo Island. Uzo Island is its home. That is the location. But it's the guy with the big stick, like the ogre. Yeah. When they hit you, cool. It freaking
ogre,
hits
that's a good
hard.
Comp. Ogres are a good comp. Yeah.
Right. It has 80 HP. You get 261 experience and 293 Maseta.
Word. And I'm sure anyone following along, and maybe you guys too would know, my first one's got to be one of those pug fuckers.
Yeah,
obviously.
I honestly, I figured you were just going to do the whole series as yours.
I should have done that. Yeah, that would have been funny. Yeah, I just chose my favorite of them, and it's the second of the pug line, and these are only found at sea. The pug brat, just because of the funny nature of the. But yeah, what are they? There was the pug kill, pug brat, and pug
hit.
Pug hit, right? Yeah. So what a cool line of fucking thing. And they even kind of like
they got pug heads. They're pug heads.
Yeah, they kind of they like there's fucking pug vibes to them even.
Man, do you think this might be related to the act breaks? But do you think the cuttlefish from Subnautica looks like these?
Well, again. Yes, because
I think there's at least a little.
We're talking about the same things to some degree because it's when talking about pugs, cuttlefish, and Miyagi, it's the big Pixar eyes as your through line there.
Yeah,
and that is like the easy, weak, fucking human. We're like, we're genetically disposed to have a weakness for that.
Love that, right?
Right, so that's why Pixar is so successful.
I think the cuttlefish from Subnautica kind of looks like the pug kill. I'm saying I just think there's another connection there.
Yeah, it's one funny thing about
at these motherfuckers on Twitter, not X.
You have to, yeah. They're like I said, they were taking questions for the new one just recently. They're active on there. But the funny thing about these pug things being found at sea is Miyagi won't go anywhere fucking near the ocean. so it was funny to me that they are ocean things. But they have a very cool attack animation. They stand up and their claws become gun turrets, which is fucking cool as shit. And yeah, I of course chose the brat over pug kill because Miyagi is a fucking brat too. By the numbers, they have 88 HP, 206 XP, 115 Macetas, and they do have a special attack that decreases the party member's attack power, a debuff. So that's my first. Sliding back to Jab. What do you got?
To Jab. Thought it was Jay.
No, you went first, motherfucker. Focus.
Jay, what'd you do?
Are we gonna cycle? Are we cycling? Are we doing a snake draft here?
No,
or are we?
No, I'll do mine. My next one's Catman.
Okay. All right.
Because
you chose the freaking cat, man.
We can both talk about it. That's what this is.
Yeah.
This is somebody's kink that they wrote into the game.
Right? What is going on?
This whole series is just like you're into cats, aren't you?
Yeah, they're super neon-y. Yeah, they're very
like a playful attack stance, like almost.
And the cat has tits. Like, what are we talking about?
Right. Yeah, like we've all been here, right? Like we've all done this at least once. Right? You guys also?
Yeah.
Anything?
Yeah. I mean, I see where you're coming from.
So yeah, it's got.
I don't know if I'm going to totally align with you here,
but I understand. Yeah, and it's got its wagging tail too. It's playfully wagging tail. So they have 67 HP, 276 experience for killing them, and 236 Maceta for your trouble. No special attacks. This is an Uzo Island thing.
Word. And that is your second as well, Jay?
That was going to be my third, but
okay.
I'll go. So my next one that fan bite. So this is like a giant blue locust alien looking creature.
The locust fucking upgrades from the beginning of the game. Yeah.
I mean, you encountered him on Uzo Island and in Climatrol, and so it has 80 HP, 301 XP, and you get 256 Maceta. And generally speaking, if you take it out quickly, not a problem. But if you mess around, it does have a special attack that it can kill a party member instantly.
Yeah.
And that
I did not have that happen. I have not had any fucking rub bullshit.
Oh, I've experienced it. Where
that's
absolutely
rough,
I'm just attacking it, and then because obviously I'm just attacking it normally, no big deal. Do a couple attacks and it just kills someone. And I'm like,
no
what?
Shit,
yeah, I level on like fast forward and like I would I've just died, tri-mated all my people or whatever, like healed them using tech or whatever. And like I'm just like fucking hitting the button and I'm like, dead, why? And like I had to slow it down for a battle. I was like, oh, I'll fucking get you, dude.
Oh shit. No, that hasn't happened to me. Wild. Yeah, that would bum me out so much on one of these on the Uzo Mountain run or fucking Climatrol. I would be so bummed out.
Oh, yeah. That's why
I'm not.
When I saw them, it was immediately like Nafoy or like something that I knew could like take them out.
Nuke them. Yeah. If that would have happened, I can see how that could PTSD you for sure. Interesting. Well, my second is Burn Wolf, which actually, when you first brought up the cats, Jab, I thought that's what popped into my head, and that's why I said neon, because yes, these are rainbow bright as fuck looking, their color palettes, and they are the second of the Wolf line, and they are found on Uzo Mountain, and you'll meet an even more badass pink one in Climatrol. But this installment, the Burn Wolves by the numbers are 112 HP, 412 XP, which is nice, and then 382 Macetas. And not like they're a better payoff at that 412 XP than they are work, in my opinion, which is a cool thing about them as well. Jab, third up.
Strangely enough, it's Flare Wolf, just because how cool. Yeah.
Cool ass sprites.
Yeah, they're just cool looking sprites. I had nothing else beyond that as my logic. Oh, by the way, Glowstick does have a wide beam that can hit all party members.
Yeah, they do. I can picture the animation for it. It's pretty cool. Yeah. Yep.
So yeah, Flare Wolf, you find him in Climatrol, 145 HP, 471 XP, 455 Maceta. No special attacks, as I said. Just cool.
And that's crazy. That's only 60 more XP.
Yeah.
Than the level below. That's wild.
Yeah, for an additional, like 30 something
HP.
Yeah, 33 it looks like.
And I'm sure they fucking do more damage too. If Mike's RPG Fantasy Cave Center could fucking give us more stats, I'm sure they have more attack power.
Where you at, Mike? Figure it out.
Yeah. Jay?
We'll go with the Slug Mess. The thing that at first, the first time I
We don't die, we multiply!
Oh my gosh. The first time it was not a big deal. Killed it quickly, not a big deal. So I'm like, God, these things are whack. Next time I encountered it, did not kill it quickly, and it multiplied, and I was like, son of a... So, yeah, 96...
One cool thing about them, though, I don't know if you noticed this, I thought this was really cool. When they divide like that, the new ones don't have as much HP. Which is fucking cool.
Okay.
I did not notice that.
Yeah, it doesn't just spawn from scratch. They have there's some sort of the biomass only has so much to it.
Yeah.
And when it creates an offspring, yes, there is some multiplication of it, but not a fully formed offspring.
I just know the sprite looked the same. Therefore, to me, it was prolonging my battle, and I was frustrated. So
yeah, for sure.
That was my experience. But it has 96 HP, 231 XP, and then 218 Maceta. You mainly found it in dungeons, obviously, like Ron, out and about. And as we mentioned, the special attack is that it creates another slug mess with, according to Mike's Phantasy Star Cave, not Mike's, but Phantasy Star Cave.
It's still Mike's. Mike's got to be involved.
Yeah.
Mike's
got to be involved. You're not going to
Exactly. But with
a silent partner. Mike's a silent partner.
So this has the same amount of HP. So
okay. I am 100% certain that I was killing them faster. 100% certain. So that's
maybe
wrong.
It creates it at the same amount of HP as if you chopped its HP down in half. Maybe it creates.
Oh yeah, maybe
it comes in
that's
HP.
That may be true. That could be true. That's because that may be possible. I'll buy into that.
Easily confirmed too if you cared to, but yeah, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
I don't want to find those right now.
Yeah, no, yeah, definitely. I'm definitely in a holding pattern. I'm playing this for a couple weeks until I finish this movie. All right, the next one, or my last one rather, is Fiara's, and this is the yellow third tier of that club wielding sprite that. Was it Jay you had earlier?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and we first meet those in Roran, the blue one, and then in Climatrol we have these, and this hits like fucking LT coming around the edge after an unathletic 80s NFL quarterback, dude. These fucking dudes fucking wreck shit. They are hard fucking core, and the coolest thing about them, I think, on top of just the cool sprite and how fucking badass they are, the fucking PS Cave has all question marks for their stats, like they're from fucking Parts Unknown or something, like fucking King Hippo or some shit, you know? Yeah, they don't fucking even have their stats, like fucking badass. That's all you need to know. There are no numbers.
Better come correct or you might die.
Right, so pretty fucking cool. Moving into Tales of the Grind. Well, I didn't fucking have any. What about you guys?
Rude. No, like I said, I grinded just right outside of Kieri Town, like to the left of that in the whole island, just back and forth for all those weapons. And then once I got to Piata, kind of the same thing, like just up and around the general area, just back and forth, just grinding until just to make sure I got enough, which did not take long at all because I still.
Did you ever, when you did the Curie grind, did you remember my suggestion to go to the coast where those mushroom rot woods or whatever they are?
Head rot.
Not rot woods. The fucking
head
mushroom head rot. Right.
I don't know that I remembered that, but I definitely was up and down the coast. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, the head rot. They're like literally just along the coast. Yeah.
I fucking hate them.
They give you a dump truck they get 3 of them, groups of 3, and they give you a dump truck of fucking XP and gold.
Yeah, so pretty much just around the towns, just enough to buy the weapons and armor I needed, and then I was pretty much on to the damn fight.
Word, Jap.
P out of town for me. Got the good weapons, and then just right outside of town, just to grind experience up. I haven't looked ahead in the book, but I think I've got 20k Meseta, so I'm not in it for the money anymore. I'm in it for the experience.
I'm fucking in it for the hustle, not the goddamn, not the fucking prizes.
Right. So yeah, that's it. I got up to I think I ended up at level 18, whatever I sent you. So it turned out to be sufficient for what we did.
Word. We had no hero classified ad hires, so we are still we have the last one outstanding still for where we're at in the game. So nothing to talk about there. For Arcane Teachings, it's slowed down tremendously as far as acquisitions of these, on my end at least. Minimal book learning. Had 2. I had Vol, F-O-L. This is an 8CS /, and that's 8 MP. What is it? C enemies. It's like a battle thing, and then it's single. Enemies, not multiple, and this reads as causes creatures to die.
I like it.
Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, best possible spell, I think.
Literally the objective.
We need more of that.
Right, yeah. The biologist, Nature's Way, got this at 15. Never used it, so I don't know how effective it is. And then the other one I got was Fanby, which is a 2YS, and this decreases enemies' HP. The Guardian got it at 16. And I never used it either. A reoccurring theme for a lot of these techniques. Did you guys have any new ones that were notable to you that you don't think we talked about previously?
Yeah, I mean, I got Amy got Narez, which is HP fully
that's the
restored.
Third level one.
Yep.
Yeah, it fully restores.
Yes,
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Fuck.
Yeah, Amy,
God,
having her in my party after she got that spell was fucking huge, dude.
Yeah, see, especially with Neh being removed, because Neh was my she only had the base one, but it was like a whole extra MP set of just burns that I had. With her gone now, I think I'm going to have to come up with the new fucking strategy. Because I put... I might have to. But then but I'm going to be so nerfed on fucking attack. Because losing Ned was also a huge... That was why she was beautiful. She had this healing component and a massive attack capability too. So the idea of putting an extra one of these fucking no attack fucks into my party is a really depressing trade-off.
I mean, her laser knife is nice, man, and she still does 93 attack. So double laser knives.
Okay.
She's no slouch.
No
but
slouch.
she can also heal. So she's a doctor, man.
Well, we'll get into that in our status update here in the next section, I guess. Is that it though? Just that one Nafoy or no res? I guess it's called.
Not res, but then a weird one like Na Sac supposedly is a sacrifice spell, which I will never use.
Yeah, never.
I think I got that one as well for some.
Yeah, all characters heal, but the caster dies. I don't want to.
Yeah, that was
last ditch effort.
I believe Nick got that. Yeah, that was a weird one.
I don't know.
But then Jay, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, one point on sacrifice spells. I'm doing Wizardry 1, the remake, and I just got the mage spell. I can't remember which one it is, but you lose a level and sacrifice some shit and some random stuff happens in battle. Just literally never gonna use
losing a level. I can't even
that mortifies.
No chance. Yeah, more. Yeah, no
absolutely
chance.
not. So yeah, I'm not gonna use sacrifice spells either. And then was Daban a new one for us? I can't remember.
We talked about it. I'm pretty sure I talked about it last time.
Wasn't sure.
But I mean, you guys implementing it by all means.
I actually did implement it this time. Yeah. So
yeah. And that was during the battle. That was the one you guys were talking about.
Yeah.
In the
the debuff. Yeah, my Jay also got G-Res, so he could still heal 60. So pretty solid.
Yeah. Todd has that as well, and that's certainly helpful. But again,
But I don't want to sacrifice the attack though to do that.
Yeah, well, yeah, I never use. That's the thing. Like again, like spells for me until in that first battle were almost exclusively just healing. Like I use all their MP for healing. It doesn't. So I'm not even like thinking of like how to like balance the attack spell or just attack technique. Balance in my party. It hadn't even crossed my mind. But now losing like I'm like questioning everything. Like what do I?
I'm questioning.
Really?
It's super cool to me because they and like I'm the way I'm describing her. She's like she fixes all your problems. So now that she's removed, you have to get into this much more intense cost-benefit analysis thing. That is, I think, a really cool choice to drop on you after you've already... It's one thing if it comes to you that way just as you play the game. You get these characters and they know how do I work them in. But to have something really valuable taken away from you all of a sudden and to have to scramble for a new, thing that you're not used to is a really cool design choice that I really applaud them working in here.
That's interesting to hear you describe her that way, because I didn't like Neh did damage. I mean, she did high damage for me, but now it's just like, all right, I got to just replace some damage, So it's very simple to me. Like, who can I find that does damage?
You have to choose between. I went with fucking the Hunter.
Yeah, she had it all.
Who does replace the damage, but he has no spell capabilities, so he's useless for healing. Neh did both for me. So
I guess that's what I'm saying. I never used her for healing because it was just like compared to Amy.
Because you had the doc.
Why would I?
Yeah, exactly. You had the doc. I don't have the doc. I had I have the Guardian.
Superior thinking, Josh.
Yeah. Well, it's not superior thinking. It's just how do you want to play,
it's
man?
Better. Nope, it's better.
No, I want to fight about this.
I won't hear if it any other way.
I'm smart.
But either way, the agency to make these choices and to be forced to make them is what these games should have. It should be about balancing these numbers in a way that you find most interesting and enjoyable. And obviously you need both the agency and the tracks available to you, choices available to you to make in order to give you that feeling. And I think they accomplished that very well here with this Neh removal, Yeah. Literature of Antiquity now, the Phantasy Star 2 hint book. We are going to begin with the Kiri-town pages, Jab, reading pages 32 and I believe 33, yes.
After learning about the sea, visit the professor's home. Kiri is a town full of brand new information. It's a long way from Zima to Kiri. You will meet strong enemies on your way to Kiri, but the information you obtain here is very important. True. You will get some very useful information about your adventure at sea by jet scooter. The most important thing to do in this town is find the professor's home. He studies a subject that you must know about for your sea adventure.
I don't think anyone here calls him a professor.
Right? I was so clueless. I was walking around like thinking, did I miss the professor? Who's the professor?
Where the
he does
fuck
not
is
give
the
me
professor?
vibes. What's happening?
Yeah. That's funny.
And on page 33, there's a little clip that says, "What is what are we going there? Marera? What is a Marera leaf? The Marera leaf seems to be the material that enables you to dive in the sea. It must be somewhere on Uzo Island where you are going to visit." So it just tells you flat out that yes, you're going there.
Where you're going there. Word. Hit us with Piata, Jay, which is next on pages 34 and 35.
Piata Town. We recommend you ride a jet scooter when visiting Piata. Yes, definitely had to do that.
Yeah, definitely.
A very powerful weapon is sold in Piata. And I took that to mean the laser cannon, since it was 20,000. So I was like, yes, clearly I'm saving up and buying that. Your opponents on Uzo Island.
Oh, no, I think it's the fucking sword. That's where we get the sword, right?
Well, I mean, yeah, you get that too, but absolutely, yeah. I just meant like cost-wise when I saw that, like the cost.
No, guys. Like, fuck the hunter. Fuck the hunter.
Okay. Stop trying to tell me dope.
Stop trying to tell me the hunter's the shit.
He's really.
Anyway. Your opponents on Uzo Island are very strong, so get the powerful weapon and protective gear in Piata. Piata is located southeast of Zima. Use the jet scooter to go to Piata. Be careful, there are many strong enemies at sea.
Look at this. I love this picture here. It is a long way to Piata, located in the interior, and there's just a shot of the scooter in open water.
Yeah. Right? What the fuck am I supposed to do with that?
Good luck.
Yeah. What the fuck?
The weapons and protective gear sold at the armorer's shop and protective gear shop are very powerful and very expensive, but will be a great help to you. We recommend you get a laser sword, laser bar, acid shot, and laser cannon. The ceramic armor, ceramic cape, and ceramic chest will give you excellent protection. And I copped all of those.
Yeah, he probably just surveyed it at laser, ceramic. Moving on.
Right.
I'm going to list each one of those off. Oh, yeah. And, dude, I think our theory, it says, remember the 3 control towers. So those are unique, and maybe it doesn't say it to the other ones. For the other ones. That's interesting.
Yeah.
That is interesting. Yeah, it's even labeled on the map, too, at the bottom.
Yeah, I don't remember control towers in other ones. It doesn't say control towers.
It
does say control tower.
What is that teleport station, too? I didn't see that. Teleport station. And there's more control towers labeled up in the northeast, too.
Yeah, I saw that, too.
What the fuck?
It's very interesting.
Huh. Yeah, I don't know what to do with that information being highlighted on the map. Okay, well, I will discuss Uzo Island, this fuckstorm. Despite the small size of Uzo Island, its dungeon is quite large. Look for Uzo Island on the jet scooter. Uzo Island is located at the east end on the map of Moda. Search that area on the jet scooter. Remember that the enemies at sea are very persistent and strong. Now for your sea adventure. Fun copy. There is a fake island of Uzo. There are 2 identical islands at sea, one north and one south. The real island is the northern one. That is a really interesting way to word that, as opposed to just the mountains you want are on the northern one. Because calling the southern one entirely fake is wild. Disembark on the island, enter the mountains from the right side of the island as shown in the photograph at the right. Beware, many strong enemies will appear. Check the map carefully and find the Mora Leaf. There are many imitations of the Mora Leaf. I think the fact that this fucking guide tells you ever so explicitly to enter the mountains from the right side of the island shows that any sort of playtesting they might have done or whatever was like, hey, idiots.
There.
This is where you need
to. There's no reason to draw. Like, you need to, it doesn't even have to be an explicitly thing, but there needs to be even like a subtle denotation. Like, there's nothing on on those tiles in front of the mountains or the mountains themselves that suggests, oh, this is a different thing that has like, there should have, even it could have been the most subtle of little fucking valley inroad things or something.
You know what it could be? It could just be that mountain range there, just mirrored and flipped over on the other side, and then it's like shaped like an upside down U. And then it would just draw your attention to the
exactly.
middle.
That's exactly what I'm explaining.
Would do it there. Yes. Anything but what you did.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Not good. Not good. And then we are back to Curie on 39, Jab.
You can dive into the sea with the... What is it? What the fuck are we doing?
Marera.
That's not what you said. You can dive into the sea with the Marera gum. Take the Marera leaf to the professor's home. If you are badly injured by the time you find the Marera leaf, which you will be, use the escape pipe and telepipe to return to town quickly. Then take the Marera leaf to the professor and Curie. The professor will make Marera gum. However, the Marera gum can only be used at certain places. So, I guess it is implying to you. Because when you get to that thing up north, or I guess south, depending on how you feel about spheres.
You get there.
You get there, and it's not... I expected a decision tree, like where it's like, would you have the Marera leaf, like Marera gum, would you like to go down or something? Like you said, you have to use it.
Right. You have to go to your item thing to use it.
And they're kind of telling you it can only be used at certain places, so I guess give you a hint there.
Jay, walk us through fucking Climatrol.
The Dungeon of Climatrol is the largest dungeon you have yet seen.
Yeah, it is.
Fact.
You find Climatrol when you go due south.
P.S. You are taking us through 7 pages with this. It's like 3 times as long as any other POI in the book so far.
Right.
So much.
Sorry to interrupt.
And it is south of Uzo Island.
That needed to be pointed out.
Yeah, for sure. So look carefully for where the water changes color. You will find this place by going due south from Uzo Island. Then use the Marera gum to go underwater. Go through the underwater passage to find Climatrol in the interior. You must take at least these items to Climatrol. As much trimate as possible, a telepipe, and a hidepipe.
What the fuck is a hidepipe?
It's supposed to keep enemies away from you, but you can only use it
outside
on the way there.
Oh, it's like a repel spell. Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't
exactly.
even know
I
that.
copped one. I was like, oh, I'll definitely use one inside, and no, doesn't work that way.
I did the same.
But that's how they always work too, though, Jab. You should fucking know that.
Well,
Your
I knew, of
syntax
course,
should know
I
that.
knew that.
You had to try it. You had to try it.
Sure, you gotta try it.
Yeah. Moor the jet scooter in the place where the water color changes.
More. That's a fucking amazing word to use. Jesus.
Use the Morera gum and dive to the underwater dungeon. You can use the Morera gum as many times as you need.
I definitely had a moment. I used it the first time, and I was like, "Oh my god,
Oh
do I
my
get
God.
another leaf?" And fucking
Yeah.
I definitely had a moment of fear
imagine
about that.
That the game might be over at that point.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah. No, if I had to go through, I mean, we can save scum and get around that, of course. But yeah, in the OG version of this, the idea that you do that and then you go back there and you go to fucking look in your inventory and it's gone, and the emotion that washes over you of knowing like, I got to go back through that whole maze in Uzo Mountain and get that fucking leaf again, and then go back to Curie and then come back here. Nope, chucking this fucking game in the garbage. Actually,
Mario Brothers.
so thank God that design decision.
100%.
We probably wouldn't have pscave.com.
That's a really good
had
point.
they designed the game that way.
Yep.
The whole fucking franchise would have went right into the shitter.
Actually, well
They
good.
had made that choice.
With one decision.
Moving on into the levels, I'll handle the Neh first battle, but take us briskly through the levels here. I guess they don't really. Be careful. Yeah, it's all bullshit on those actually.
Yeah, it's kind of all bullshit.
So getting to the Neh first battle, you will see a tragic fight between Neh and Neh first. Should say, you will see a tragic fight between Neh and Neh first. First, like I said last time we were talking about it. Neh knows this girl well. She is called Neh first. She is part of the secret of Climatrol, and you will learn a sad destiny here. What is it?
Dun, dun, dun.
Neh first is the strongest enemy you have yet met.
True.
Accurate.
Agreed.
And then we return to Paseo. Let's get this out of here. I think I'm learning shit I don't want to learn by flipping to that page. End of book. Okay, so that's what we've done. Expectations, broad observations. I even told you guys before I had reached what I ultimately decided the starting point was. I gave you guys a guess at what I thought our ending point would be, because I was so certain that's where we were going in this episode.
Yep.
That I told you guys getting off the planet would be our stopping point. But yes, it seems to me we are going to do some damn work in Moda here before we can get off the planet, unfortunately. But I anticipate that next episode we will get the fuck off this planet for certain now. So that's kind of what I'm seeing. I don't know. Do you guys see any difference? Different things?
I'm seeing the same thing, but I also think, like I said, that we'll be able to pick up another party member here, add to the party.
Yeah, he's got to be coming.
Yeah,
the
someone's
thief,
gotta be coming.
I think it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So, if not, like, I'll just go grab one of the persons who's there just to add to the roster. We'll see.
So you haven't made your decision yet?
Of who? No.
Oh, neither.
Because
have I have no idea.
I didn't want to look at it yet. Like, I didn't want to like spoil that, because that's what I figure will kick off.
Right,
Next
that'll get you going.
episode.
That'll get you going, yeah, for sure.
we'll
Yeah,
do-
so that's the interesting thing. The next would be your status update, beginning with the party ratio, and the party ratio is now 3 people. Mine was 17, 16, 16, and that's Agent Guardian Biologist at present. Because I also did not add mine. I thought that would be my beginning of the next thing as well. And I'm again, like, I'm kind of torn. Like, I my initial thought was Hunter, because yes, I need that attack back. But again, without some sort of healing additive, I think I'm going to be burning through Todd's fucking MP or technique points and losing his ability to get really fucking bad about it with the Nefoy. So it's a real rock and a hard place, man. I don't know what to fucking do.
Not if you just bring in a ton of trimate like I do.
That's true, and money's not an issue. That's true. That's true. That's true.
I mean, if you're trying to avoid Amy, then
it's not that I'm trying to avoid her. It's just I don't think she's going to bring the offensive heat that I had with Neh, you know? Especially for the autopilot moments, you know? It's one thing to...
Oh, she'll get killed. Like, she was the one I was chasing back into town most often, reviving.
Well, really? I actually, my Amy was always alive, and she was, like, she was good to go most of the time. I just kind of, I knew she was overall doing less damage than Neb, but I was definitely still auto-attacking with her. That's why I tried to, like, switch it up and try maybe the acid shot or something with her, but then I was like, never mind.
Well, that's the thing, too, is you're losing net, and I don't have any math to prove it, but in my perception, your front two party members catch more heat. So that being my Guardian and Neh worked for me. And keeping Todd in the back because for some reason he also kind of gets focused on just generally for some reason I feel, and he's always the one I'm healing the most. Seemingly in a disproportionate amount relative to him being in the back with the other person and the two front people. He still catches some heat, so it kind of like balanced it out a little bit. That made my front three kind of melee focused individuals kind of balanced as far as the damage they're taking. Now, taking Neh out of that equation, if I do add the doctor, who is not a fucking offensive person, you're going to have to put her in the back, right? I can't possibly put her
That's where she is for me.
My agent, right. So then I'm pushing Todd up into my front two, and I feel like he's just going to get fucking murked all the time. So, yeah, dude,
See,
like, the amount of math I've thought about for this is wild.
That's another reason to have the Hunter, because his defense, mine
sure,
is
but then I don't have any. I hadn't thought of the trimate solution for the healing loss there, though, was my problem there. But that's a great point.
But that's what I'm saying. His offense is so strong, and his defense is so strong. He's literally in the front like a tank who does big
sure. But you're still gonna have to heal
with Amy.
And Amy, yeah. I mean, I already know what you're gonna, Jay. We know what he's gonna do.
But you guys don't have nature's way, though. I like the biologist. I'm not losing. You guys are. See, that's the thing. You guys are putting those two extremes. I think the biologist is going to be a very, very important person at some point. And he does have some really cool, unique things that no one else does. And he also has more, he can use more equipment than the doctor, too. But he loses out on some of the healing capability, of course.
Is that Hugh?
That's, for me, it's
Nature's Way, but I think that is Hugh.
Yeah,
okay.
I believe, yeah.
I'm like, I don't even know what the options are left, but I just assumed, like, all right, I'll probably pick the next person as long as they're not.
He's the one with all the. He has all the biology focused stuff, and the Wrecker is the robot focused one. So again, I think we're gonna. It's also gonna. This is only the first. This is a cool thing. I think this is only the first instance of this rock and a hard place. I think this game is gonna put you in, where they want you to have to make a hard fucking decision about. Between your character choices, and you are gonna, if you want one thing or one convenience, you're gonna lose out on something that is you're gonna miss. You're gonna feel missing. You know what I mean? It is not. You can't fill in all the cracks. They want you to have some deficiencies.
Yeah, I was just thinking about like who would I replace him with, and I was like, well, maybe I'd do the biologist, like even for like just a role play, and it's like, well, then I've only got two people who really hit.
Right,
and that does suck.
Dude, it's super fucking interesting, dude. It's really interesting. There's been, clearly no fucking game that we played so far, RPG wise, where such drastic decisions have to be made as far as your party makeup goes. You know, Final Fantasy gives you some, that, but
not midway through the game either.
Yeah, especially it's not changing midway. Yeah. So it's comparatively not even close, I don't think, and that is really cool and interesting. So what were your final party ratios then?
16, 16, 16.
Mine is 18 for me, 19 for the Hunter, and 17 for Amy, Doctor.
Jesus. Wow. Fucking level on speed boy over here.
Hey, like I tried to tell you guys. Keyboard. Oh, yeah, I want to use a keyboard.
So let's do our agent status updates and get the fuck out of here then. Jay, what do you got on Gent?
Gent, he has 135 HP.
And you're on 16? Yeah. What in the fuck is going on here, man? I'm at 17. I have 116.
What? Really?
Oh,
20 less.
Okay.
That's like fucking 15% or something. That's fucking a vast.
Maybe
vast
it's a gear.
difference.
Are you using type?
HP does not change with gear. We're talking about HP right now.
None of them. I know, but do any of them grant?
No.
That wouldn't work that way.
Yeah.
I mean, it just wouldn't work that way. No.
I don't know what to tell you then.
No, I don't know what to tell you either. It just wouldn't work that way.
Not to mention, I told you, it's not like I'm missing some sort of key piece of gear that he can wear. He's maxed out on gear through Piata as well, so that's not it.
I don't know.
I mean, I guess the weapon. We're both using the sword too. We said we're both using the sword, so that's
the
the same
laser
also.
sword. Yep.
Yeah. Anyhow, sorry.
But yeah, 64 TP, 112 strength, 103 mental, 73 agility, 91 luck, 89 dexterity, 183 attack, 160 defense.
You have more TP than me as well. Jab.
Jab, level 18, 132 hit points.
Also
What?
less than Jay.
More than
Yeah.
Fuck, man. The dice rolls are fucking. There's no floors to them. They will. You roll a 1, you get a 1.
It's a 1. What's it say? 1. Okay. TP 68, so not too bad there. Strength 116, mental 107, agility 80, luck 88, dexterity 89, attack 193, and defense 139. I think I'm missing maybe knife boots, actually. I think is what it is.
I'm like, your defense is lower, but your attack.
So just rocking my regular ass ASIC gel 9s.
Yeah,
shoes.
you're fucking. It's got your ruse on, so you can keep some pennies on the fucking side.
Hey.
Okay, Todorino is depressingly rolling with 116 HP at level 17. He's got 62 TP, 120 strength, 116 mentality, or mental rather, 88 agility, 98 luck, 91 dexterity, 180 attack, 168 defense.
Dude, all your physical attributes and whatnot are just better than mine. At level 17, like every one of them are better than mine.
Except your attack, which is worse.
Yeah, but then my HP is,
That's
I have
weird.
16 additional over you, I think.
Right.
Crazy.
Except, man, the dice rolls are fucking.
I like how they do that, though, man. Like, fuck them.
Sure. Yeah, no.
Are you rocking the Titanomet and the ceramic chest?
Who, me?
Josh. Oh.
Either one
Probably.
of you.
Laser sword here and ceramic chest.
Yeah, I have ceramic and whatever the best
Headgear is what
like
I
said.
got.
I mean, I'm using the I'm using the chart with fucking laser fucking like focus.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever the fuck is best. Actually, check that. I'm going to the cave because the chart doesn't tell you.
It doesn't tell you everything, right?
Yeah, I'm going to the cave and making sure I maximize.
And I hate to
using
step
that tip
outside
there.
of the stuff, but like this is hard.
Right. Yeah, no fucking way. Yeah, no. I guess I never. Maybe I did note it in the last episode. Yeah, when I first started talking about PS Cave. Yeah,
You brought it up for a reason.
That's why. Yeah, that's why I went there initially. Right. Yeah, I mean, once I realized that chart can fuck you, I was like, well, not going back to that well.
Never again.
Too much at stake here. Not fucking happening. Okay, man. So that's where we fell here as we rolled out of Climatrol and getting into hopefully the home stretch on Moda before we take to space in our next episode. So, you can subscribe to the pod on the platform provided, whatever dumbass company that serves up your pottery. Please rate and leave positive shit for the pod on whatever platform you listen to if you do enjoy our nonsense. The website is NYEH Entertainment, NYEHentertainment.com/ISOH pod. You can email us directly at isohpodcast@gmail.com. Follow the pod and banter with us on the Facebook page, the Instagram, the subreddit, and talk shit to us about our gameplay videos on the YouTube. Links to all those will be in the show notes. We don't have a Patreon, but if you'd like to give money to things podcasters tell you to, would like to so in our direction. The Able Gamers Foundation creates custom gaming rigs for gamers with disabilities. That's cool as fuck. AbleGamers.org is where you can find them. T-shirts are on the website. They're dope, and proceeds on those after pod expenses go to Able Gamers. Rocking one right now, my Final Fantasy Chaos Kill. And Jab, how can people find you on the internet?
They cannot find me, and that's how I prefer it.
MPO Box 0031 on Instagram. Jay?
Gentleman JB without the second E. That's where you can find me when I'm posting.
I am on Twitter at Josh Folan. I'm on Instagram. My shift key is broke, and that is my Oculus tag too. If I ever play a video game again. Okay, bye.
Later.
Act break.
She was kind of mid too, so like she wasn't the
Mid?
most powerful. She wasn't
dude,
the
she was
best
a
healer.
rim wrecker. What do you mean?
Dude.
We talked about how she was a rim wrecker. What
She
are you
could do
talking about?
damage, but like
What? No, she was an integral part of my party. I mean, having
for sure.
having the hunter and I think the doctor is the right play. So replacing her, I mean, I'm going down a level no matter. I'm going to replace her and it's going down a
True.
level.
Well, so you think the hunter? I don't want the hunter. I want the guardian. So we all three have. That's beautiful that all three of us have. This, by the way, is the post show button. By the way, that we're talking about right now, since it came after an act break, so that's fun.
Is this act break now? Then that's probably how we should do that.
Yes. Now we are.
Okay, I'm gonna go pee.
That's it.